Then I pressed the button. We're just drifting farther and farther now. World trembles. My vision wavers. My heart feels as though an evil dwarf was running around inside of it, breaking things. It's okay, it's just the usual dizziness. It'll soon subside. Waiting for things to settle down, I slowly surveyed my surroundings. A stranger stands in front of me. Who is he? I did not recognize the man at all, but he stands and stares at me. It's creepy. Doesn't seem like someone I should get involved with. As I try to make my way out of his line of sight. Once more, I take in my surroundings. The coin lockers in front of Daibiru. As usual, I don't understand what I'm doing there, but there's no question that my reading Steiner has been activated. The world line has changed. Suddenly, there's something about the stacked coin lockers caught my eye. The door of the locker in the bottom left corner is severely deformed. My curiosity draws me near. Squat down and take a peek inside. Empty. There's nothing inside. So, what? The locker is of no concern. More importantly, the lab. Every time we've sent a D-mail, something more dramatic has changed. Someone is changing... Someone has somehow gotten the ability to change the D-mails we send.
To change the D-mails we send?
Or preempt them. Because the world lines we end up in don't always make sense.
Yeah.
If it's just our D-mail that changed it, right? Like, why would we have ended up with Ferris if that was just the one D-mail telling us to keep my area safe?
Yeah. And why would something have happened to cause someone to crowbar open?
And why would we come
locker?
here if we were trying to prevent the lab from burning?
Yeah.
I have to check on the lab. Took off running in its direction. May have been the man from earlier, but by the time his voice reached my back, I didn't care. I kept running without turning back. 7:31 p.m. I arrive in front of the Braun Tube workshop. My hands on my knees, gather my breath, and look up above me. Oh, it's out. The fire is extinguished. There's no crackling red light behind the window. And also remember Kursu's random comment about this at the second time she's heard all this.
Mm-hmm. But that would make sense anyway, right? Because no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Because he didn't receive the mail that would have prompted him to say that earlier. Because if he had still received that D-mail previously, then it would have made sense. He would have had a reason to still explain it to Kurisu and Daru earlier in the day.
Yep.
Before getting to now. But that D-mail was gone, so he had no reason to. So what could he possibly have explained to Kurisu? He couldn't have. I think you're right on.
Yeah. I think Kursu's slipping up.
Yep.
There were no crowds, and Mr. Braun was just watching some variety TV show on his 42-inch CRT television as if nothing had happened. And I just checked. It's the D-mails we expect. Take a deep breath, and with my hand on my chest, I wipe the sweat off my forehead and climb the steps to the lab. Before I could say back, something strange robbed me of speech. An unexpected sight rushed up to greet me as I opened the door. What is this? Bright red blood spattered around the room. Oh, the Siloom saber exploded. The blood was not yet dry, still glossy and wet. Calm down, and think. What the hell could have happened? I sent a D-mail to the previous world line and moved over to this world line. My D-mail likely canceled the development summit, but that would have erased the lab fire, but in its place. Look at my watch, it's 7:34. Don't tell me the Rounders raided us. Well, that can't be. It's not possible. That was a different world line. What do I make of all this blood? Whose is it? I think of it. Where are the lab mems? Wasn't a trace of anyone in the room. No Mayuri, no Kursu, no Daru. Ran over to the development room, but it was empty too. They weren't here. There was no blood in the development room. There was something I didn't recognize. A single piece of paper on the table. I take it and look at it. It was a memo. A promissory contract. All right. Mondo Shinpan Company Limited, hereinafter Party A, and Rintaro Okabe, hereby enter a monetary expenditure loan contract in agreement of the following. That's where the money came from. He took a loan.
Interesting.
Section 1, effective today, an offers loan of 3 million yen to B, which be... He took a loan assuming they would win the competition.
Yeah.
And be able to
I
pay
bet this is what the dialogue is going to say.
I know, yes, but let me... Section 2, B shall repay the 3 million yen mentioned in the previous to August 11/21, either in person or via bank transfer. Interest shall be 0 until September 11, 2010. Any repayments after the date incur an interest rate of 10% per 10 days. Holy shit.
That's not a good loan.
That's an awful loan. Kadone Shinpan Company Limited, hereinafter Party A, and Rintaro Okabe, hereinafter Party B, hereby enter a monetary expenditure loan contract in agreement of the following terms. Section 1, effective today, A offers a loan of 3 million yen to B, which B accepts. Section 2, B shall repay the 3 million yen loan mentioned in the previous section by August 11, 2011, either in person or via bank transfer. That was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Section 3, interest shall be 0% until September 11th, 2010. Any repayments remaining after this day shall incur the interest rate of 10% per 10 days. August 12th, 2010. Wait. They set the deadline in the past?
What the fuck?
They set the deadline in the past?
I can't tell if that was a typo or if that was actual. Because it did say that. But it also said interest will be 0 until September 11th. And it says it's due August 11th. So that has me wondering.
Oh, 2011.
Oh, okay. 2011. In a year.
In a year. Okay. Further down on the debtor Party B line, there was a signature and initials. The signature read Okabe Rintaro in what was unmistakably my own handwriting. Madness. 3 million? I remember borrowing such a ridiculous sum. Scoffing at the absurd promissory contract, I rip it up and toss the pieces into the trash. And then I noticed. Up until now, I hadn't taken a look at myself and noticed the anomaly. Blood. It's blood. My hands are covered with blood. And it's not just my hands. Examining myself further, I found blackish red blood stains all over my clothes. What the hell happened? My hand trembles as I take out my phone. I needed to know where the lab members were. I forced my shaking fingers to call Myri. Silence. Not so much as a ring. A moment later, a robotic voice gives me a message.
The number you have dialed is unavailable. Please leave your name and message after the beep.
Beep! It's me, Myri. Call me as soon as you get this. I then proceed to call Kurisu, then Daru, only to get the same result. No ring, just the robotic message. Damn it, what is going on? Enraged, I kicked a nearby shelf. If their phones don't ring, that means they must be off, or they have no signal, or they're already... It's the Sialoom saver. Like, shaking the terrible thoughts out of my head, I catch a glimpse under the table. There sat the phone wave, named subject to change, the time leap machine. I'm leaping. Took me no time to decide. I don't believe a mere D-mail will solve anything at this point. Even if I manage to avert one tragedy causing a D-mail, there's no guarantee I'd be able to do so a second or a third time. My experiences in other world lines have been proof of that. So I'm leaping. I will perform a time leap. I'll solve this problem by getting the root of what happened in this lab. I can't see any other way to make things right. First, who said the time leap machine was defective, but it only failed to transmit my memory data once. Might not happen this time. It's worth a shot. In order to prevent this worst-case scenario, I must leap at any cost. Activate the X68000 and adjust the settings. The magic mod improvement should have been applied to the time leap machine functionality as well, so... Pound 120, 120 minutes. I'll leap back 2 hours. That 1 hour would be too recent, 3 hours would be too far back. So just the time in between. Put on the headgear.
And that's roughly the amount of time of the initial time leap that we saw at the beginning. About 2 hours.
Yep. The fear of losing my memory again crept into my thoughts, but I shut my eyes tightly and pushed it away. I've already decided there's no turning back. The preparations are complete. All I need to do now is activate the device. Interesting that part-time warrior still shows up in his contact.
Because she was here in this
She
world
was.
line.
You're right. Yeah, she still was. I raised my right hand and roared. Come forth, Zervan. Our pact compels you. Bring me through the gate of time and into the past. Zervan has received your message. Noise pierces my eardrums. I feel like a piece of shattered glass is being driven into every wrinkle of my brain. My vision undulates wildly for a moment and then gradually stabilizes. My dizziness thankfully taking the pain in my head with it. The lab. Cool.
So he's still got the... Right, because he just timed
Yep.
that.
And we haven't had the dramatic world line change reading Steiner activated cutscene yet.
Yeah.
I didn't need to look around to figure out where I was. Gotta get my visual novel power gauntlet. There we go. Look at that. Aren't you happy, Wrist? The usual scenery was right before my eyes. In my right hand was the cellular telephone. My left was empty. Fine. Empty is fine. Both my hands were clean, and there were no bloodstains on my clothes. Look at my watch, 5:41. The timely at work. What about my memory? The fact that the question surfaced at all was a sign that it succeeded. I remember everything before the time leap. Could recall everything in vivid detail, even the shape of the splatters of blood all over the room. But now, that blood is nowhere to be seen. The wall, the floor, the sketchbook on the table.
Hey, Ocarine. What are you doing?
Oh God, it's talking to me now. I heard a voice behind me. I turned around to see Mayuri standing there with a puzzled look on her face.
Was that art actually by the manga artist?
I don't know.
Cause isn't she like Ume Aoki or something? What's her name? What's her name?
I'm uncertain. We didn't even look up if we actually knew who wrote this segment in between episodes because we're not good at our jobs. We could have looked this up at any point in time, but we chose not to. We just hit record.
Yeah, Ume Aoki is the one who does the
Madoka art?
Madoka, Hida sketch, and so on. And in the list of artists, they said like Aume-san.
Oh,
So
okay. Maybe.
and Huke was the other, right?
Yeah.
Huke. Where have I seen that?
Is that a name that's come up before?
That is an illustrator.
Okay.
That is an illustrator.
Okabe, why are you looking at your phone rather than paying attention to the narrative? I'm struck by the sudden urge to embrace her, but I just barely managed to hold myself back. Though I'd assumed her safety from the lack of blood in the room, seeing her as confirmation, the tension in my heart slowly begins to relax. I sigh lightly so Mayuri doesn't suspect a thing. I could ask you that, Mayuri. What brings you here?
What do you mean? I've been here with you all along. What a weird question.
I held back from mentioning anything about my reading Steiner or making a time leap. She probably wouldn't understand even if I tried to explain. I hit my head earlier, so I can't remember anything that happened in the past few hours. Then Mayuri said,
Huh? Are you okay? You should probably see a doctor.
Oh no, don't worry, Mayuri. It's not that bad. If you merely refresh my memory, I'm sure I'll remember. What's the story?
Let's see. You were looking at the costume I finished, imagining Luka-kun wearing it, and laughing like,
That does sound like me. Wait. You mean to tell me you went to Lukako's place?
Nope, I didn't go. Because you told me.
You are under... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you are to under no circumstances leave this place. Ocarine?
That sounded almost exactly like me. What about the assistants in Daru? They don't seem to be in the lab either.
Nope, they're not. They haven't come back yet. Well, actually, they might not even come back until tomorrow. Daru-kun told me over the phone that he was going to see a movie in Ginza. You know they're showing Code Geass in theaters now, right? He said he's going to see the 6 o'clock showing.
Oh, man. Hot take. I actually kind of like Code Geass.
Yeah.
It's season 2 maybe drags on a bit, but it's got an interesting conceit, and it as far as like that kind of shonen-y stuff goes, it's pretty good. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable for what it is,
And it keeps the stakes high. And
Yeah.
I think that's cool. It keeps it exciting and interesting. A lot of
Yeah.
shonen just falls into the rut of battle scene of the week.
It's
and
one of those ones
it
where
doesn't.
where I would like maybe that, like if you're looking for shonen that might actually hold an interest for like something like that or Death Note.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they're enjoyable. I got no problem. I got no qualm with you, Code Geass. Other than the fact that those two needed to end up together.
As for Christian, I'm not sure, but I don't think she's coming back
Why would that be?
because she was upset.
Why was that?
Because Ocarine suddenly said the development summit is canceled. Christian and Daru-kun were both out shopping for it, but you suddenly called them and said it was canceled.
Haha, now I understand. In order to confirm this, I pulled my cell phone out and checked the mail inbox. Keep Mayuri in to stop kidnapping. Stop summit. Use no fire. Lab will burn. I sent the 3 D-mails at the bottom, or more accurately, the 1 D-mail split into 3 parts from Mayuri's phone in the first world line. At the top are the ones I sent in the subsequent world line in order to prevent the fire. I received these D-mails around 3:20. I seem to have followed their instructions to a T. First, I stopped Mayuri from going out and confined her to the lab. Then I called Kurisu and Daru to declare that the summit was canceled. No surprise that would upset them, though. Now that I think of it, is Mayuri aware of her kidnapping? Did my past self tell Mayuri, don't go anywhere or you'll be kidnapped?
Is this how the kidnapping happens?
Judging by her demeanor, that doesn't seem to be the case. Her relaxed, carefree smile doesn't show even a trace of urgency. That's the way she always is. Her smile is hardly evidence.
Ocarine, do you want some mitarashi dango?
In a blink, Mayuri had a pack of Mitarashi Dango skewers in her hands. One of the 3 packs commonly sold in convenience stores. Mayuri had already grabbed one of the 3 skewers. 2 left. To eat or not to eat? To eat. As I reached out to grab one, suddenly an image resurfaced from the back of my mind, brought back by the sticky glossiness of the Mitarashi Dango. Blood. The fresh blood all over the lab's floor and walls. Whose blood was that blood? If what Mayuri said is true, then Kurisu and Daru will not come back to the lab today. Then it could only be one person. Mayuri, put that Mitarashi Dango down right now.
What? But I've already started eating it.
No, not the one you were working on. Put the other 2 down on the table.
Why?
Because we're heading out.
For what?
Just because. If we stay here, there's a risk we'll be attacked by someone. No, not a risk, a certainty.
But you said you are to under no circumstances leave this place, Ocarine. Twice.
Twice.
Yep. First when you got a message on your phone, and second when Mayushi got a message. You said it when I showed you this one.
Mayuri said as she faced her cell phone screen toward me. No going out. Lab is safe. Fight. Blackheads?
What?
Bulkheads? She received it at 3:26. From
Oh.
Ferris.
What?
What? From Ferris?
And we were with Ferris.
We were
in
with.
that, but
Is
why?
Ferris colluding? Is Ferris either the actual one trying to kidnap Mayuri, or is she colluding with Kurisu? Because both Kurisu and Ferris now have things placing suspicion on them. 4 minutes after I received the Stop Summit message. D-mail was sent to Mayuri's cell phone at that time. D-mail is composed of 3 messages of 12 1-bit characters each. Oh. Clear that would have been sent from the future of a different world line. Oh. But what is a BLKHD? Blackhead, maybe? This seems both unnatural and unnecessary. Would staying in the lab help protect us against bad skin and fight?
I was thinking bulkhead.
That's what I
But
thought.
I was also thinking, what's the name of 4 degrees Celsius's gang?
Oh, we don't know what the name of that they are, do we?
We did at one point. It was in the original Steins Gate.
Yeah, I don't recall what it was, though, because I'm going to be honest, I don't think about Shido at all.
Much less his other guys.
Right?
Remember them?
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't. They suck at Rhinet Kakaru. That's about all. I envisioned myself putting a massive, poorly washed nose into a grapevine stretch. So surreal that I made my eye twitch. Message alone is enough to baffle, but there was another peculiar thing about it. The sender. Ferris-chan. Ferris-chan is how Mayuri addresses Ferris. Why? Why is the kitty girl sending D-mail? Mystery, mystery, mystery. All this nonsense was enough to make my brain short out in a shower of sparks. It's just for maybe Kurisu borrowed her phone.
Yeah. The other thing I'm thinking is this is sent just minutes after the one he sends.
Right? I think.
And is it the same the other time that the first D-mail that he sent, he found that Mayushi had received one just minutes before?
They're playing fucking D-mail chess. Okabe keeps trying to go back in time and do something, and someone keeps sending D-mails after him to try to alter events back to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And that someone, I think, is Kurisu. I think that's what's happening here. All this nonsense was enough to make my brain short out in a shower of sparks. There's another element that confused me. 2 sentences written in the D-mail. No going out. Lab is safe. They threw me. There's no question that we'll be attacked by some enemy if we stay here. The D-mail that Ferris sent says the lab is safe. The strong wording of the no going out message only hammers it home. What do I do? What do I do? My thoughts were interrupted by a high-pitched electronic sound blaring from Mayuri's phone. A red message window pops up on the screen. No remaining battery life. Shutting off. A few seconds later, Mayuri's cell phone went black.
Aw, the battery died. By the way, Okarin, can I eat another mitarashi dango?
Mayuri asks, her mouth covered with the tare sauce. I sighed my response. Do whatever you want. We still have time. The blood in the lab didn't look to have been there for very long. Whatever tragedy occurred has likely happened only 15 minutes before I entered the lab, maybe 30. I thought about the attack was an hour before I arrived. We still have 40 minutes or so left. That in mind, I've decided that my internal time limit is half of that, 20 minutes. I need to decide our course of action within that time. Do we stay here or do I run away somewhere with Mayuri? We stay here until our 20 minutes is up. However, given my uncertainty, I decided to check on the phone wave, named subject to change, /time leap machine just in case. Putting myself in the direction of the development room. A certain piece of paper caught my eye, the promissory contract. The document I had just dropped, ripped to shreds, sat untorn on the desk. It's not a surprise, of course it's been reconstructed. I did time leap after all. Once again, I pick up this obnoxious document and stare it down. Obnocument, if you will. Effective today, A offers a loan of 3 million yen to B, which B accepts. It's dated August 12th of this year. In other words, yesterday. Apparently I borrowed 3 million yen from the Kadone Shinpan company. But why?
What are you looking at, Okarin?
An unexpected voice met my ears. When I look up, Mayuri's innocent face was directly in front of mine. She chews away at a mouthful of mitarashi dango. For the looks of things, she's probably not aware of the contract. Contract?
Contract?
Contract? I casually return it to its original place, place my hand on Mayuri's shoulder, and lead her back to the common room. Ask her just to make sure. Mayuri, what do you think of when I say 3 million yen? For a second, Mayuri's eyes moved as if she were thinking something over. She stopped chewing.
Well, do you mean the prize Mayushi won at the lottery?
What? Lottery?
I used the lab's shared funds and bought it without telling anyone else. I'm like a reliable housewife, aren't I?
What? Wait, sorry.
Huh? Okarin, didn't you say I don't remember anything that happened in the past few hours?
What?
I won the lottery about a month ago. You don't remember that either?
She's always been pretty sharp. Fortunately, I have a go-to method for situations like this. Put my head in my hands and started screaming. Oh! My head is about to explode!
What's going on, Ocarine?
It's just like in my favorite film, Scanners! The organization's Recollect, Reject, Annihilate, aka R2A, which they implanted in my brain, has been activated!
I just love I have a plan for what to do in these situations.
Chuny.
I put my head in my hands and started screaming.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that tracks.
That tracks.
That usually works. I do that too.
It's probably why I can't remember anything about the lottery.
No, are you okay?
Whether I'll be okay or not is in your hands.
Huh? What do you mean?
By regaining my lost memories, I can send a reverse brainwave pulse to the R2A, destroying it in the process. Tell me, Mary, what happened to the $3 million that you pulled from the lottery? Mary balls her hands into tight fists, furrowed her brow, and spoke.
I used it.
For what?
For the Future Gadget Magic Mod project.
Wait. But this loan was only a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But Mary won the lottery months ago?
D-mail. We took out the loan and then used D-mail to make Mayushi win.
The lottery.
In order to
then why
have
would we
that money in the present, in order to
pay back the loan?
Or to not have to take it, but something didn't work? I don't know.
I was going to say, well, if that was the case, we wouldn't need the loan at all.
Yeah.
Something isn't adding up here. If it hadn't been a month ago, that's...
I think a month makes sense because that fits the timeline that we already knew we tried to get Mayushi to win the lottery.
Right.
So it makes perfect sense that that would be when it happened. The question is why?
And why would he need to take out a loan after that?
Yeah.
A loan that is dated...
yesterday.
Yeah. You mean you used it to fund the gadget upgrades?
Well, like I said earlier, I spent the lab's money for the lottery. That's why we all discussed it and decided to use the money to benefit the lab. And if we could win the grand prize at the invention contest, we'd be able to make the 3 million yen back, right? That's why we decided to invest in a brighter future for the Future Gadget Laboratory. Oh, but that last part was your words.
Mayuri responded, swinging the half-eaten stick of Mitarashi Dango around with a stern look on her face. By the way, have we entered the contest yet?
Nope. The deadline is August 31st, so you said we'd do as many upgrades as possible. Hey, Ocarine, are you really okay?
Mayuri looks at my face with concern. I put my finger against my temple, shake my head lightly, and then speak. Now I am. We succeeded in destroying the R2A.
Oh, that's good.
Mayuri sighs deeply and looks at me with twinkling eyes. Then, seemingly remembering the Mitarashi Dango in her hand, she takes another bite.
Nom.
That's one mystery solved. Now I know where the funding for the Magic Mod project came from. You're just gonna ignore the fucking okay. That was not the answer I was looking for. Contract is still shrouded in mystery. Why would I borrow 3 million yen? I didn't even have enough evidence to base any theories on. This wasn't used to fund the Magic Mod project, then. Could it be for the ransom? The idea blinked into my head. Maybe the kidnapper demanded 3 million yen in exchange for the hostage's life. That's why I needed to borrow the money. But why 3 million yen? Why would they think he had 3 million yen? Price is fairly low by typical ransom standards, but if I were the target, it would make sense. Though a mere student like me could come up with hundreds of billions of yen. But the kidnapping occurred only in the first world line. Mayuri of this world line has neither gone missing nor become anyone's hostage. Wait, hostage? When I turned around, Mayuri was reaching for the third Mitarashi Dango skewer. Seemingly sensing my gaze, she slowly turned to face me. Have we been misinterpreting kidnapping? Because she's always been Okarine's hostage.
Yeah? I don't know.
She laughed, embarrassed. Then she takes a bite of Mitarashi Dango. Her mouth is dripping. She licks the tare sauce off her lips. Nothing has changed. Mayuri eating Dango with a blissful smile on her face. She regained that smile the day she became my hostage. Mayuri was 11 years old when her beloved grandmother died. After that, she had lost both her words and her smile. She might have lost her hearing, too. No matter how many times I called her name, she never responded. The cemetery where her deceased grandmother sleeps. For over half a year, Mayuri stood in front of her gravestone every single day, even on rainy days and windy days. I was in middle school back then, but because I was worried about Mayuri, I often went to the cemetery to check on her. Mayuri always stood in front of the gravestone, silently looking up at the sky. She looked so ephemeral, as if she could disappear at any moment. So I called her name over and over again to try to keep her here. Mayuri. Mayuri? Mayuri never responded. Holding her pocket watch tightly in her hand, she just stared up into the heavens. That pocket watch was a keepsake from her grandmother, Mayuri's most important treasure. Mayuri always carried it with her. That old antique pocket watch. Quite a while later that I found out that it had a name, Pockety. And one rainy day, Mayuri stood in front of that gravestone, umbrella in hand, as she gazed up at the falling rain. The rain eventually subsided, and light broke through the clouds. A phenomenon known as Rembrandt rays, or an angel's ladder. For a moment I lost myself in the beautiful sight before me, and then a gust of wind blew by and carried Mayuri's umbrella away. But Mayuri hardly seemed to notice. Slowly she reaches her hand toward the beckoning ray of light. Looked as though she was trying to grab onto an invisible ladder. She stands up on the very edge of her tiptoes, climbing, rising. She's going to be taken away. Without thinking, I grabbed Mayuri's wrist, and before I knew it, I was embracing her. I will never let you go. I'll never let them take you. I didn't realize how embarrassing those words were until I said them, but Mayuri is my hostage. She's the sacrifice for my human experimentation. So to hide my experiment, I just started chaining words together. This line came from an enemy boss character from a hero drama that Mayuri and I were into. He was supposed to be a mad scientist, and I was good at impersonating him. The deep Hoenn lore,
Oh.
said Mayuri in my arms. Her small shoulders shook.
Mayushi is a hostage, huh?
The voice I hadn't heard for half a year was quiet and ragged, but very comfortable to my ear.
I guess that's just how it is.
Mayuri said as she burrowed her face into my chest. Her warm tears seemed to permeate my skin. From that day, Mayuri became my hostage. As my hostage, Mayuri regained her words, but she still periodically visited the cemetery. I went with her every time, offering flowers with her. And every time we visited the graveyard, we made sure to stop by a food stall to eat dango. She always ordered mitarashi dango. Mayuri, savoring the bite she'd taken, regained her usual smile. Suddenly, a muffled, bassy sound growled into the room. I heard a car door shut. Something feels wrong. I rush over to the window and look down. There's a single car parked in front of the Braun Tube workshop. A black SUV with tinted windows. It did not look friendly. It was surrounded by something even further from friendly. Around the car stood men wearing black hoods.
What the fuck?
No wonder they referenced Code Geass. That they're all zero. They're all fucking zero.
They
They're
are.
They're zero cosplayers.
Oh my god.
That's what they are. Oh man. Whoa, 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 wait, who are these people?
That fight black hoods.
Yep. Is the second D-mailer trying to get him to fight these people? Like, heighten his sense of... Like, they're just cosplayers. They're trying to make him feel alarmed?
Hey, are they just cosplayers?
I think they're just cosplayers. So far, yeah. Within their deep hoods, the men were wearing creepy masks. Not just the masks. Everything about their appearance just seemed to drip with suspicion. These rounders? Eliminated the thought the moment it entered my head. These men are not rounders. Rounders don't stand out like that during surveillance. What's more, I don't know from other world lines that the raid is at another... I know from the other world lines that the raid is at another time. Debt collectors, maybe? Possibility was also weeded out immediately. According to the contract, the repayment deadline wasn't until next year. There's no way they would come to collect the money I had just borrowed yesterday. But then, who are these people? Then it hit me. Remembered the D-mail that was sent to Mayuri's cell phone. Fight Bulkhead, BLKHDS. That was supposed to mean black hoods instead of black heads. That would mean...
Hey, what are you looking at, Okarin?
I turned around and saw Mayuri running toward me. You idiot, get down! I actively grabbed Mayuri's head and pulled her down next to me.
What?
There's some shady people out in front of the Brawn Tube workshop.
The organization?
Maybe, but probably not.
Really? Mayushi wants to see.
No!
Why not?
There's no point in hiding it now. I told her without hesitation. Mayuri, listen carefully. You were kidnapped in a different world line. It's possible that you will be in this world line as well. In other words, someone is targeting you. Mayuri tilted her head slightly.
Huh?
That was her response. What I'm trying to say is that the guys outside might be the kidnappers. If that's the case, it would be bad if they found out you were here, so...
I don't really get it, but okay. I'll go be in the development room.
Mayuri lays flat on the floor, then rolls toward the development room and disappears inside.
Roll, roll, roll.
She has zero sense of urgency. I mutter to myself, then look out the window again. While Mayuri's overpowering tranquility nearly made me forget this was a dire situation. 5 mystery men stand in front of the Brawn Tube workshop as if to block out the path. The Ohiyama building is very closely surrounded by similar buildings on each side, but the entrance, there's no alternative way out. I thought about jumping out the bathroom window to the building directly across from it, but... Took a closer look and realized the window to the other building was reinforced with steel fencing. It'd be impossible to sneak in. We're at the roof! To escape, I had to get down the stairs and past all 5 men, with Mayuri in tow. I didn't believe that would be possible. You're hard alone. Attempting to do escape while leading Mayuri along by the hand would be a fool's errand. What can we do? How can I get out of this? The door to our lab is securely locked. I knew from experience that the lock was brittle and could be broken with a kick. These 5 men getting here were finished. Even I, a master of the Seishin Zanma-style swordsmanship, am only a human without a blade. Fighting 5 people to protect Mayuri may be too much for me to handle. At that moment, cell phone rang. Payphone. Okabe! My ears were sailed. Oh, that's
Okabe!
My ears were assailed by a booming voice, so deep it sounded as though it were emerging from underground. But I recognized it.
Wait, what?
Yamamura-sensei, my middle school homeroom teacher?
Wrong.
Then who are you? State your name.
What? What?
It's the part of the cosplay, the voice filter on the map.
Oh. It's Maki-sei. Kurisu Maki-sei. You can't tell.
Oh, at Channeler, Chris. Perfect timing.
That's not my name.
Anyway, listen to me, Christina. We're in trouble.
Same here, and it's all your fault.
What?
I dropped my cell phone.
Where?
In a toilet. It got soaked. I managed to salvage it, but it's bricked.
You mean it's broken?
Yes, that's why I'm calling you from a payphone.
Oh dear, I send my condolences.
You're making fun of me now.
No, having to find a payphone in the year 2010. How is it supposed to be my fault?
Because you called off the development summit out of nowhere. I was in the middle of shopping for it. You just called us and canceled the conference without telling us why, so I got mad, and...
Wait, I thought the voice was deepened. And...
At this net cafe...
You're at an internet cafe?
You just laughed, didn't you?
Laugh? Me? No, never.
Ugh.
Anyway, you're saying you dropped your cell phone in the toilet at a net cafe.
Yes, that's why it's all your fault.
Not really sure what seeing the cause and effect at work here, but whatever. This isn't the time to quibble. Christina, have you calmed down?
What?
Sounds like you finally cooled off.
So what if I have?
Then listen to me. I'll say it one more time. I'm in trouble. I told her everything I'd gone through, everything about the suspicious men outside. I didn't leave a single detail out. Listening to my story, Kursu let out a small sigh and spoke.
I understand. Anyway, Mayuri's safety is of the utmost priority, so...
Thing falls silent. All I can hear from the cell phone is white noise. But it didn't last long. Somebody knocks on the door. No.
What happened?
I take a quick look out the window. No one there. The men in black hoods that stood around the car had disappeared, which would mean... It's bad. They're right outside the door.
Is it locked?
It is, but it's only a matter of time before they kick it down. With the silence, my hands grow wet with perspiration. My cell phone almost slipped out of my right hand, but I used my left to support it. For a moment, Kurisu spoke.
Do exactly as I say. I have a plan.
A plan?
No questions. There are people outside the door, right? There's no time. Hurry up and move.
Who are you, Morpheus? What do you mean, move? What am I supposed to do?
Set up the phone wave to send a D-mail.
A D-mail?
I just told you no questions, didn't I?
You did, but I can't send a D-mail if you don't explain to me exactly.
Don't misunderstand me. You're not sending the D-mail. I am. Now get moving.
How?
How indeed.
How? It seemed I had no choice but to follow her instructions. I jumped into the development room and set up the phone wave, named subject to change. Mayuri was there. She sat in the corner of the room holding her knees, a pair of headphones on her head. Looks like she's listening to music on a portable music player. She looks at me and cocks her head. I hold up my hand to tell her not to move and mouth the words, "Don't worry." Then I activate the X68000. Put the cell phone in my ear again and spoke. Just tell me one thing. Why a D-mail, not a time leap?
In another world line, I told you the time leap machine is defective, right? I believe my own words. That's all.
How do you know that?
I know, right?
But I just made a successful time leap. I wanted to protest, but my words were wiped away by the sound of the doorknob rattling violently. Doesn't look like I have time to argue. All right, where and when do you want to send your D-mail?
The recipient will be your cell phone. The time will be 3 hours ago. Set the timer to 180 seconds.
Why 3 hours ago?
Shut up. You ask too many questions. Do you want to save Mayuri or not?
Shh. Click my tongue and do as she says.
It's done. The recipient is my...
It's done. Oh my gosh, I'm sounding like you. Recipient is my cell phone. Timer set to 180 seconds.
Then activate the phone wave exactly 3 minutes from now. I'm counting on you.
Hey, wait, why? Or I could say 3 minutes. She hung up. Shit. 3 minutes felt like an eternity as they passed by, punctuated by a continuous raucous noise of the doorknob being twisted and shoved. The sound of knocking didn't stop either. I almost lost my mind worrying when the door would finally break open. On the other hand, Mayuri was happily tapping her fingertips, humming and otherwise enjoying her music. Then the time finally arrived. No idea what Kurisu was scheming, but thought that for now I needed to trust her. Believe she can make something happen. Prayer in my heart, I activate the phone wave, named subject to change. A moment later comes the electrical discharge. Then my phone rang. When I look at my phone screen, it displayed public phone just as it did earlier. It's Kurisu. What could have happened? Press the talk button on my phone.
Sorry, change the D-mail recipient immediately.
What? The discharge is already happening.
Just do it. Change the recipient to Mayuri's phone.
Oh, is this going to be the garbled one?
I just realized it'll be harder for the enemy to intercept it this way.
Countless questions run through my brain, but I didn't have time to ask any of them. Never changed recipients while electrical discharge was occurring. Will it work? I don't know, but I had no other choice. I had to try. Change the recipient to Mayuri's cell phone just as Kurisu instructed. Done.
Thanks, we just barely made it. It's all complete now. Your reading Steiner should activate soon. I set the mail to send after a delay, so it should happen any second now.
What?
Oh, by the way, I'll tell you one last thing. The reason I sent the D-mail to 3 hours ago. It's 6:18 right now, right? I wanted to save Mayuri and at the same time save my own phone. It's all up to you now.
After she hung up, I realized I had failed to ask her one important thing. What did the D-mail say? That question soon melted away into the distorting world in front of me. Was that the D-mail that was already on Mayuri's phone? I guess not, because reading Steiner just activated.
But the time
Was the same. I shut my eyes tightly and waited for the usual nausea to fade away. When my sense of balance returned to me, I slowly opened my eyes. I could see someone standing in front of me. Kurisu.
What's wrong? You look pale.
She examines my face to see how I'm feeling. I catch a glimpse of something over her shoulder. Lockers. The lockers in front of Daibiru. As usual, it was clear that the reading Steiner had activated, but I had no idea what I was doing here. I redirect my attention to Kurisu and ask, What am I doing here?
Huh?
What happened to Mayuri?
What happened to her? That's why we're surveilling this place, right? We don't know. Though, like you said, I don't think it's very likely that Ix will show up here.
X?
I-Chain his snake? You know, the person who might have kidnapped Mayuri.
When did that one arrive?
What?
When did the I-Chain his snake one arrive?
Minutes after the one that Mayushi got, right?
We're back here. Okay, so
Oh, not minutes after. Almost a full hour after.
we're all the way back here, huh?
We
Okay.
So, Kurisu just played us to get us back onto the world line we were before we sent the panicked D-mail that she didn't want us to send.
Yes.
But how? How did that get us back here, sending the garbled mail to Mayushi's phone?
Yeah, I don't know. How does that get us back here?
Does that make Mayushi's phone run out of batteries, so she has to go somewhere to charge it? So, I don't know.
Maybe.
You're the one that came up with the name. Did you forget?
Wait. What the hell are you saying?
That's my line. Are you telling me you have amnesia?
Did you not see me just pick up my phone and do a thing? Okay. I inhale deeply, open my eyes wide open, and... I violently tear at my hair and scream incomprehensibly.
What's wrong with you all of a sudden? What happened?
I'll tell you about me later. I'll tell you all about me later, but before that, I need to know what is going on. Just what happened? Kurisu, seemingly shocked by my aggressive outburst, slightly twitched before responding.
I don't really understand you, but fine. I'll tell you everything that happened in the past couple of hours.
According to Kurisu, I received a ransomed email from Ix at 4:03 p.m. in this world line. With that, Kurisu headed to the Anabayashi Shrine and met with Lukago. Lukago told her Mayuri hadn't stopped by. I, meanwhile, had taken position around here, keeping an eye on the coin lockers of Red Daibiru. Saw no trace of X. Eventually, Kurisu met up with me. Then Shido showed up, crowbar in hand. But that would mean we're back in the original world line.
The original world line? What do you mean?
Without giving her an answer, I took out my cell phone and checked the inbox. Just as Kurisu had said, there's the ransomed email. For Sheena. You know what? In DB locker. This can't be! Distraught, I looked for any excuse to deny that this was reality. I switched back to my inbox. When my stomach drops, they're gone. The message saying keep Mayuri in to stop. And the stop summit use no fire one. They've disappeared. Disappeared? Why? Stunned, I put the cell phone back in my pocket. And then something touched my fingertips. I take it out. It was Mayuri's cell phone. I opened it, but the screen won't turn on. I hold the power button, but get no response. The battery is dead. It's not like holding this thing in my hands will recharge it, but... I swapped cell phones and called Daru.
That's interesting. So there is a difference here, and that's that Mayushi's cell phone is now dead, instead of being in his pocket and live. So it's slightly different from the first time around.
Just as I had with Kurisu, I interrogate Daru about what had happened in the past few hours. His answers are largely the same as Kurisu's. 4-3, I receive a ransom message from Ix. Finishing his take on things, he shakily asked me a question.
No, Karin, what should we do? Maybe we should call the police.
I told Daru to stay put at the lab for now and hung up. Mayuri has been kidnapped. Mayuri has been kidnapped. Mayuri has been kidnapped. Why? How? My soulless voice sneaks past my lips. My strength drifts away from my body and I collapse.
Hey, Okabe, are you all right? Snap out of it.
Has she been... I don't even think she's been kidnapped at this point. I think somehow Kurisu's using the knowledge of what Okabe sees in the other world lines to convince him that she has been kidnapped for long enough. Kurisu wraps her arms around my sides and tries to make me stand up, but I cannot stiffen my legs or hips. Kneeling in place, I quietly look up at Kurisu's face. Our eyes meet. Behind her is the sunset sky ready to melt at any moment. Kurisu holds my head in her arms and whispers in my ear.
It's okay. I'll take care of this.
She always says she'll take care of things. And the blood, like everything that has made Okabe worried, like the blood in the lab, that was just planted from the Siloon laser, probably.
Mm-hmm.
The fight the Black Hoods, right? They're just a bunch of cosplayers. Dara, we know, was going to go see the Code GS movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's all about spinning these very normal things into something out of control.
Mm-hmm. So, tell me everything, please.
My face still buried in her chest, I slowly, quietly start to speak. By the time I'd finished my story, the red had faded from the sky. Beyond the painted darkness, I could see a few stars twinkling. I suddenly recall Mayuri's stardust handshake. I vaguely understand her feelings when she reached toward the sky to try to grab the stars.
I'll cut to the chase. You probably wound up back in the original world line, after the last activation of the reading Steiner, that is.
Not exactly the same, though, but her words went way over my head. Back to the original world line. Could do nothing but parrot her words back to her.
For sake of convenience, let's just call the first world line you experienced world line number 1, the second world line you experienced world line number 2, and the third world line number 3, okay? World line number 1 refers to this world line where you received the blackmail from Ix. World line number 2 refers to the world line where the lab caught fire. And world line number 3 is the world line where you found the blood stains in the lab. Do you follow me so far?
I awkwardly nod my head.
First, in world line number 1, you sent the Keep Mayuri In D-mail and moved to world line number 2. Next, in world line number 2, you sent the Stop Summit Use No Fire D-mail and slid over into world line number 3. There, after seeing the bloodstains in the lab and getting confused, you time leaped back to 540, but still stayed in world line number 3. There, you and Mayuri stayed at the lab, but were surrounded by the black hooded men. You then asked world line number 3 me for help, and she then sent a D-mail at 6:18, right? Then, as a result, you came back to world line number 1. Do you understand now?
Understand my ass? It doesn't make any sense.
What doesn't?
If this truly is world line number 1, then why do you and I exist? Not just us, it doesn't make sense that anyone in the world, the animals, the plants, the essence of anything exists.
Why is that?
Because I sent the Keep Mayuri In D-mail in world line number 1. The world's history should have been rewritten to that of world line number 2 as a result, and that's why.
But you didn't send it.
What?
Huh?
What?
I said you didn't send that D-mail. You may have sent it in the world line number 1 that you've already experienced, but in this world line number 1 you haven't.
Please speak Japanese.
That was Japanese.
I don't understand. So it's the same world line from a cosmological standpoint, but... I took up my cell phone and checked the outbox. Not the inbox, but the outbox, and... it was gone. Why is there an I-chain his snake in the outbox?
Because that happened, right?
Right,
You were
right.
I
We
wanna
tried
meet
to
with you.
chase him down, yeah. The history which I sent the Keep Mayuri In mail in world number 1 was vanished. What was there was the message I sent to Ix saying that we needed to talk. But wait, that's fine, right? Keep Mayuri In message isn't there. That's evidence that this is not world line number 1. Immediately told Kurisu. Then she unexpectedly admitted her mistake.
You're right. My words earlier might not have been completely accurate. Allow me to restate things. You have moved to a world line that is infinitely close to world line number 1 that you have experienced. Is that better?
What do you mean infinitely close?
Let's just call it the near world line number 1, shall we? The only difference between world line number 1 and near world line number 1 is that near world line number 1 extends from ending D.
Oh, shit, I haven't played any Drakengard. Do I need to know that for this?
Is whether you sent the Keep Mayuri In D-mail or not. Everything else is the exact same. You can think of it that way. But that's just my hypothesis. I'm not in a position to be able to verify this. It's theoretical. However, there's one person in the world who would be able to verify whether this is true or not. That person is, of course, you, Okabe Rintaro.
Near world line number 1. A world line infinitely close to the world line number 1 I've experienced. Given everything I've seen, it was hard to disagree with Kurisu. Which must mean that Mayuri... Hey, tell me something. Why do you think I wound up back in this near world line number 1 in the first place?
Hard question. There's no doubt that the D-mail I sent in world line number 3 was the trigger, but...
Got a point? What kind of D-mail could you... Oh. What kind of D-mail could you have sent back then?
How should I know? Asking near world line number 1 me isn't gonna help.
Come to think of it, you made me wait for 3 minutes after activating the phone wave. Names have changed, didn't you? What exactly were you doing?
I just said that asking me was useless.
Then why did you change the D-mail recipient from my cell phone to Mayuri's at the last minute?
I have no idea about any of this.
Then what about the time? Why did you want me to send the D-mail to 3 hours prior? Reading Steiner activated at 6:18, so 3 hours before that would be 3:18. However...
Oh, that I think I actually know.
Kurisu spoke as she stuck her hands back in her pocket.
Perhaps world line number 3 me wanted to fix her bricked cell phone.
Wait, did she swap batteries?
That's why she had you send the D-mail to 3:18. That would have been 4 minutes before you received the Stop Summit D-mail at 3:22.
Did Kurisu take the battery from Mayuri's phone and put it in hers?
But why? Hers wasn't a battery problem. Hers was having been dropped in the toilet and bricked.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, I wanted to send the D-mail prior to your receiving the Stop Summit D-mail. By doing so...
You thought it would delete the Stop Summit D-mail. By doing so, you would erase ever going to that net cafe, recovering your phone in the process.
And the Stop Summit D-mail actually did get deleted, meaning that I...
Kurisu took out her phone and waved it at me before continuing.
Succeeded in recovering my phone.
I tilted my head skyward. Seemed like there were more stars out there than there were earlier, but it makes no difference. They were all out of my reach. No matter how far I try to extend my grasp, I can never grab them. Frustration boils up from within me. Time mocks me as it passes by. The noise of the city leaks through the gaps between the buildings. The cheerful laughter of young people only further enrages me.
Hey, there's one thing I think I should tell you.
Kurisu's sudden comment makes me furrow my brow.
What Mayuri told you in world line number 3 is a lie.
A lie?
She said that she won the lottery, right? But that's a lie. She didn't think anyone knew, but Hashida and I figured it out. You did too, just a while ago.
Figured what out?
The 3 million yen. Mayuri earned that money by taking one of her most treasured belongings to a pawn shop.
That's why Okabe needed the loan.
To buy the
it
precious
back.
thing back. She probably thought we wouldn't want to use the money if the truth got out. No, that's an understatement. You probably would have yelled, "There's no way we can use that money. Take it back to the pawn shop."
Well, that's exactly what I sound like.
So, Mayuri made up the lottery story.
And what is this treasured belonging of hers? Pockety?
A pocket watch. Apparently it had a name. Pockety.
How is that worth 3 million yen? No offense, Mayuri, but...
It's a pretty cool watch.
It is. I would buy a replica prop of that watch.
It's got so many, gears and shit on it.
I know, it's so perfect. Pockety's Mayuri's keepsake of her deceased grandmother. Her irreplaceable treasure. I understood that more than anyone. Christina, where's this pawn shop?
Huh?
I'm asking you where the pawn shop is and what it's called. I'm going to go get it back.
You already went.
Oh. What?
You already went. Yesterday. Alone. With 3 million yen.
It's coming together. It's all coming together. That's why I borrowed money from that Karone Shinpan financial company.
Karone? Oh, you mean Mondo Shinpan.
That's how the kanji is read. But I managed to is that going to tie into snake chain? But I managed to retrieve Pockety safely, right?
Well, for some reason, you came back empty-handed.
Oh, did he get mugged? Why?
That's what I want to know. What happened? Oh, and about the debt, you don't need to return any of it. It violates the Interest Rate Restriction Act and the investment law, so you don't even owe the capital. I can have a lawyer friend of mine look over it, so there's no need to worry, okay?
I wasn't concerned anyway. I didn't care about any of that. I just felt like Mayuri's feelings caught in my chest. So did Okabe get taken for a ride by a loan shark? And then this has all been one big misunderstanding to try to get it.
I was figuring, what if this is future Okabe plotting to try and get Pockety back, and it's just not working? But it comes out seeming like there's a grand conspiracy.
Maybe. She pawned what was most important to her, probably more important than her. But why did she pawn it in the first place? Why did Mayuri even feel like she needed to do that? And for what? For the lab, for the bright future, the future gadget laboratory? About a month ago, I must have picked up that flyer somewhere and confidently proclaimed, "We will enter the Akiba Invention Contest," simultaneously commencing the Future Gadget Magic Mod project, but due to a lack of funding, we likely couldn't make the modifications we had hoped to. Mayuri watched from the sidelines as Daru and I found ourselves at wit's end. I can see it clearly. That's why she lied about winning the lottery.
Mayuri seemed to believe in you, you know? No, she still believes in you. She believes that you can win the Akiba Invention Contest grand prize. She told me. The gadgets that Ocarina and Daru made are really, really cool. They're really, really great.
Wow, you sounded exactly like her.
And if you got involved, Chris-chan, they'd be unbeatable. They'd get the grand prize for sure. So she probably wasn't afraid of pawning Pockety. Contest grand prize was 3 million yen after all. I think she believed she could use that money to get it back.
My eyes shut tight and my teeth gritted. I clenched my fists so tightly my shoulders tremble. Mayuri believed in us, putting something she valued more than her life on the line for our future. But that Mayuri is not with us now. She may be alone somewhere, crying. And if so, then there's only one option left to us. I opened my eyes and quietly spoke. Christina, we're sending a D-mail.
I thought you'd say that. In that case, I have a plan. Will you let me take the lead?
Not this time. I'm only in this mess because I let you take the lead in World Line number 3.
I wouldn't do anything so careless in this world line.
You're still the same Makise Kurisu.
I promise, it'll be fine.
I wonder.
I'll even tell you the message.
What do you plan on sending?
Before, when you sent the D-mail in World Line number 1, you tried to keep Mayuri from leaving the lab, right? Then in World Line number 2, the fire occurred in the lab. So this time, we gotta let Mayuri loose.
Let her loose.
We'll follow her and catch the kidnapper. That should fix everything.
She spoke. Kurisu took out her cell phone and started to type. Eventually her fingers stopped. The screen faced toward me. A message was written as follows. Tell Mayuri, perpetrator must be caught. That's creative. Caught instead of caught.
Spelling it out normally would go over the character limit, right?
Question is whether the past me will understand it or not.
Don't worry, I'm sending it to my phone.
Why would you abbreviate caught and not perpetrator to perp?
Yeah.
Wait, don't tell me you've got a good reason for this.
I'm in this deep already. I can't just have you keep me out of the loop in the next world line, can I? Let me help. I want to help. Besides, this plan is really risky alone.
What about the time? Kurisu looked at her watch and spoke.
4 hours ago. How does 240 minutes sound?
Blaze it.
Well, it's currently 7:21, so it would arrive when Mayuri is still at the lab.
Before I noticed it, I was dancing to Kurisu's beat. I'd already muttered the words of approval. Very well. The die is cast. I called Daru and asked him to set up the phone wave, named subject to change in the way we discussed. A little while later.
Ready to roll, Kareem.
Okay, Daru, phone wave, name subject to change, activate.
We're discharging.
Christina, now.
Roger.
That one-word response, Kurisu pressed send. Man, she really doesn't like getting left out of the loop, huh?
Yeah.
I'm still suspicious of her.
And really doesn't want any time leaping to happen.
Yeah, really doesn't want any time leaping. The usual distortion of my vision doesn't stop. The world around me seems to wave as if engulfed by extreme heat. The haze that rises off the asphalt of under a blazing sun. It won't go away. The refractive index of the world seems out of joint. Or rather, Hot. Why is it so hot? Waves of heat rain down on me from above. This isn't good. Timidly raise my head to see. Throwing it back in the world line where it's...
What the fuck?
She...
Why does that message... Wait, is that even what she sent?
No, not at all. Of course that's not what she sent.
Oh my god. Why does she
keeps trying to get him in the world line where that'll stick him because the flames will have engulfed the lab and that traps him with no way out.
Interesting. But to what end?
Is this still about the IBM 5100? I don't think it can't be about that. No, because then she would know that it's there and be able to get it out before the lab goes up in flames and traps him there without any way to seal. That's what it is. Steal the IBM 5100. Get a way to completely destroy the time leap machine in a way that's unrecoverable and leaves Okabe with no way to get back to the past to undo it.
And has plausible deniability. Okay.
Yeah. CERN pilled Kurisu right here. The lab is engulfed in flames. What is this? Caught a glimpse of the flames through the window. They look stronger than last time. Thought my skin would just burn standing there. Wait, last time? Could I have returned once again? I've been in this world line once before, which means that this is world line number 2. It's absurd. Why? At this point, I wasn't concerned with whether this was so-called near world line or not. Either way, it's certain that this is a world line very similar to world line number 2 that I had previously experienced. I don't know why. How did it come to this? The email sent to Kursu's phone said Tail Myri. How does that lead us here? God damn it, but more pressingly, I've got to do something about this fire. I said that though, it didn't seem like there was much I could do. Where are the firefighters?
There was a fire at a big building near the station, so apparently they're dealing with that.
The message was to have Kurisu set a second fire so they wouldn't get here.
Ha ha ha.
And this rate is just a matter of time until the fire spreads to another building. I hear the voices of the crowd. I look towards them. I see Myri in my periphery. Myri! In the middle of this disaster, as soon as I saw Myri, my heart started to dance. But I couldn't run up to her and call her name with joy, because Myri was crying. Sitting on the edge of the sidewalk, her shoulders shivering. By her side was Kurisu trying to comfort her. Kurisu had her arm wrapped around Myri's shoulders and was whispering something to her. My feet instinctually carried in their direction. I stand beside the two of them. Sensing my presence, Myri spoke as she slowly raised her face toward me.
I'm sorry, Okarin. I'm really sorry.
I don't know what to say to her. While searching for words, Myri continued.
And also, thank you. I missed my chance to say thanks earlier. Thank you for saving me. If I was on my own in that fire, Mayushi probably would have...
Apparently I managed to rescue Myri out of the fire in this world line too. It's getting more and more certain that this is either world line number 2 or near world line number 2.
Thank you. Thank you, Okarin.
Myri said repeatedly, tears trickling down her face.
Thankarin.
Without saying a word, I lay my hand on her head, gently stroke her ash-covered hair. Then came Daru. Spoke blankly as he stared at the blazing fire.
Too bad about that skep. But don't let it get you down, Okarin.
Why would it?
Because you treasured that skeb too. We went to every Komima, Komiti, and Komiichi together since we were in high school. And our collection of illustrations slowly grew in that humble book.
Hold on, did you just say we went?
Do you have a problem with that?
You meant we as in you and...
You, of course.
Madness, I have no memory of attending such events.
Could this be carbon monoxide poisoning or your brain cells fried? The two of us definitely collected those illustrations together.
What?
That also means we have no way of paying our debt now, I guess.
Wait, part 2. What's our debt have to do with the sketchbook?
Excuse me, are you serious?
It's too much of a hassle to explain. I just told Daru he was right about the carbon monoxide poison to get the conversation moving. What?
So, in this world line, other people know about the debt and are trying to pay it back. That's different than world line number 1.
Okay, so, and they were going to be like, oh, I bet they were going to sell that. Or sell the illustrations in it since they were...
Yeah, to try and raise money to cover Okarin's debt. So, Okarin still took the debt, was somehow lost the money.
Mm-hmm.
Or did he get back Pockety?
We don't even know about that.
Did Mayushi have Pockety in any of the scenes we saw?
No.
Okay.
She has not had Pockety in her hands in anything that's not a flashback.
Interesting. Interesting.
And also, we still don't know how Okabe loses the money on his way to...
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. We don't know, did he successfully get back Pockety this time, and that's why he doesn't have the money?
I see.
And why they're trying to pay it back? But we don't have enough evidence to know if that's it. Or if he lost the money or what. We don't know what happens to the money. We know he doesn't have it now in this world line.
Yeah.
But we don't know what happened last world line.
Last world line, Kursu said that he tried to go and collect it, but came back empty-handed.
But that's all we know. That
That's
could
all
be
we
that
know.
it could be that the pocket watch was not there anymore.
Yeah.
Or
but
it
then
could
why
be
did
the money was taken, but we don't know.
Anyway,
Shouldn't you go to the hospital?
I'll go as soon as you tell me what I need to know. What's the relationship between the debt and the sketchbook?
It's simple. When we put that skeb out on Taboo auctions, it sold for exactly 3 million yen. The bidder was someone working for a publisher, and their name was, I don't remember. But anyway, that person was supposed to come buy that skeb tonight at 8 with cold hard cash. But after the fire, well...
I see. The debt's interest was 0% if it was paid off within a month. Sold the sketchbook and received the 3 million yen, we could have paid the debt in full. But... Hey Daru, why don't we try disputing the debt together? Citizen told me something to the tune of the loan violated certain interest laws, so we don't have to pay it.
You really think something like that would work? Don't you remember what it said on @channel?
Daru took out his cell phone and turned the browser screen toward me. The page said the following. Daru's motto in Shippan is really fair. Shinpan can be trusted. It's better than any credit company. Seriously, nobody can refute this. Bad credit, no problem. News can't cover it, so it's so real. Such market prices, no force, no pressure here. Health insurance, whatever you need money for, we got you covered. From nameless @ plan your use. Wow. Daru, are you sure this post you want to show with me? It says right here that Mondo Shinpan is really fair.
One must be able to see a lie for what it is. You really don't remember, Okurin? I showed you this @channel post last night too. You read it properly then.
Thought for a while. Did I not read it properly just now?
Oh,
You're freaking me out, man. Not funny, Okurin. It's obviously supposed to be read vertically, remember?
Mondo Shinpan is seriously bad news. They forced insurance money. I see. Yep.
it will crush you.
Vertically? Oh, that's how you read it. Mentioned it. I finally realized what I was doing wrong. Look at Daru's phone screen again, reading the first word of each line. Mondo Shinpan is seriously bad news. They force insurance money. It will crush you. It will crush you.
By the way, it was Makiseishi who found this post. She Googled Mondo Shinpan after finding out that you'd taken out a loan from them.
Oh, so it was Kurisu. Scripting code like this would be a piece of cake for @channel like Chris. Wonder if that's how we were meant to read the weird one that Mayuri got on her phone as well.
I wonder. Prompted by this post, I dug a little deeper into this Mondo Shinpan. Sure enough, it was a jackpot full of suspicious rumors. Okurin, we're screwed, aren't we? If we don't do something, they might really crush you.
Crush. No. I don't want to be crushed. I really don't want to be crushed, so what should I do? D-mail? Time leap? As I contemplated this, I looked up at the Oyama building. Seems like the flames have gotten even stronger. I mean, this is bad. Really, really bad. I finally regained my cool. Sketchbook, the debt, the possibility of ending up at the bottom of Tokyo Bay with cement shoes, all are merely minor concerns, compared to the harsh reality that our precious sanctuary, filled with so many fond memories, was being incinerated in front of my eyes. Obviously takes precedence. Furthermore, beyond those flames lies the phone wave, named so to change / time leap machine. That gadget, a product of mere coincidence. Once it turns into ash, we will never be able to recapture it. Well, what should I do? What am I supposed to do? I know exactly what I'm going to do. Daru, put on some Dragon Force. I growl as I kick the ground.
Wait, Okurin, where are you going?
I heard Daru's voice behind me, but I didn't have time to respond. I went up the stairs toward the second floor, looking straight ahead.
Time to walk through the fire and let it burn.
Was that a Buffy reference?
Yeah.
In the year of our Lord, 2023.
Yeah.
Wow. I opened the door and burst once more into the lab. This would be my third time. No matter how many times I enter this scorching hell, I don't get used to it. But the more I repeat it, the fire gets hotter and hotter. Flames spread wide and now lick the ceiling. Can't breathe, I can barely keep my eyes open. Extreme heat penetrated deep into my core, and I felt like my internal organs were being burned. Even then, I couldn't back down. Cover myself in a nearby lab coat. With all the resolve I could muster, jump through the raging flames. Clear the roaring sea of fire and into the development room I go. When I tumble in the phone wave, name subject exchange is laying there on its side, undamaged. X68000, monitor, keyboard, and headgear are all there. This extreme heat is possible that the sensitive internals have been damaged. Please, please work. Press the power button on the X68000 with a prayer on my lips. The distinctive CRT startup sound the monitor lits up. This is indeed the will of Steins Gate. I already decided what to do. Steins Gate is telling me to leap. Then leap I shall. I will leap into the past. Fire will eventually reach this place, destroying all these machines in the process. And even if the machinery could be saved, I cannot simply accept this lab burning down as a historical truth. It caused a lot of trouble for the neighbors, and the owner would probably beat me to death, so, you know. Which is why I must, by any means necessary, prevent this fire from breaking out. And in order to do that, I must time leap. Did not consider D-mail to be a valid option. Already sent one in this world line number 2, after all. Allow me to prevent the fire, but in its place. Anyway, there's no time. The fire's getting distressingly close. I tap away at the keyboard inputting the settings. The time leap to destination 3 hours ago, 180 minutes. We still haven't closed the book on Myri's kidnapping case. There's that time in order to give myself enough time to investigate it. The preparations are all made. The 42-inch TRT downstairs should still be on. Already confirmed it on the way up here. Headgear's already on my head. All I need to do is activate the time leap machine. Took several deep breaths, then spoke. Okay, let's go. Man!
Smash that like, comment and subscribe.